Hello YouTube and the members of the RCW posse. No, that sounds shit. But I've been using it anyway. Posse's about 3 people. Yeah, anyway. Welcome to another episode of Breaking Gamefabe. I'm Mike, Desirous Prime, or Desirous, whichever. You know, just not Renegade Championship. I'm not going to take that as a username. Here to talk some more about Uprising and beyond. I'm actually filming this before I've uploaded Uprising, but I've played it, so I know what's happening. I knew what was happening anyway. I very rarely let Universe control anything, or attempt to control. I always try and, keep it running the way I want it, because otherwise I'd have heel turns one week and face turns the next week. It has happened. But yeah, so Uprising. Quick notes from that. New tag team champions, Wilf and Steinmetz. Wilf being the first RCW champion. That's his second title, his third title reign, because he's a 2-time RCW champion. Steinmetz his first RCW championship, the World Tag Team title. Yep, they faced the two dirty bitches. A lot of the characters are based off people I know. A lot of them, not all of them. So it has more of a personal feel to it. I am good friends with Wilf. Steinmetz I used to work with. Dino and Bitches I used to work with somewhere else. So there's this whole, there's a more personal feel to it. Even though Wilf and Steinmetz have never met, and never met the two dirty bitches either. Well, yeah, so new tag team champions in Wilf and Steinmetz. My guy Desirous retained the Hardcore Championship in a last man standing match, which would have been better if the directional throws weren't so bad this year. How many times did it take me to try and get him through that table? I don't know. Anyway, press one way, it goes the other. New Intercontinental Champion Ross Lee defeated CW Longley. That was more of an off the cuff storyline that I came up with. I say off the cuff, it's been building since November of the last game year, but it was originally supposed to face Paul Haynes, but then Longley turned heel at Fight for Survival, and I just had this idea to put the belt on him and avoid Ross, and then have the confrontation at Uprising. He actually injured Paul Haynes as well, so it kind of played in pretty nicely. Hardcore Howie Arnie Sharp was decent match, I think. It was an all AI match, as was Dragasan Combat Matt, which I enjoyed watching. That was a good AI match, I think. Too bad after Combat countered the chokeslam, it didn't do much, but except get pinned from a sidewalk slam, which, I've heard on WWE 13 finishers will be more impactful and you'll have better chance of kicking out of non-finishing moves, which, hopefully that's the case, because the sidewalk slam finish just seemed a bit abrupt. I could have gone back and replayed it, but yeah, that was just the way it went. We had the UWA Championship match on that. And there will be repercussions from the RCW guys that didn't get a slot at Uprising because of the UWA Championship match. I already breached Universe. I went 2 matches over because there was just so much going on. I don't mind doing that. Excuse me. If you're wondering how they all have the Uprising title cards, I just basically recorded the entrances in Universe and did the matches in Exhibition. But yeah, there will be a fallout from the guys that didn't get on the Uprising card that maybe should have been. Guys like the Scott brothers, they were tag team champions for 4 months. The Megastars, Omega and Richard Parrish, they were the first RCW World Tag Team Champions. They lost to me and Dragasan last year. Paul Haynes, 3-time, I think, Intercontinental Champion. Gary Gibb, former Intercontinental Champion. Martin Corby, who was one of Roscoe's best friends at the time. They didn't get on the card, they were overlooked because of this UWA Championship match, which I did in conjunction with Ben and his 2 cores that were in the match. the real people behind them. The 6-man tag, the Roscoe, Scorpion and Griffin Abels versus the Industry. Boshak, Robbie Flash, Scorpion and Griffin Abels are all former UWA guys. They were released by Ben. I snapped them up, along with myself, but I don't count because I was a champion. I had a right to be on there, I think anyway. But yeah, so 4 ex-UWA guys in that tag team match, only adding to the friction. Well, you chose 2 former UWA guys against 2 former UWA guys. Why didn't you choose us? Blah blah and stuff. It's basically what I'm going for is you can see both people's sides. RCW is a new company, bringing in the UWA guys helped build it up a bit. I haven't overused them. I made a point not to give, with the exception of myself, any of the UWA guys title shots immediately. I mean, my first title was the World Tag Team title. I wasn't supposed to win the RCW Championship. I wasn't meant to cash in initially, but I got attacked by Wilf. So, I'm all for vengeance. So I cashed in early. Also wouldn't have had the hardcore title either had I not injured Dragasan. That was supposed to be me versus Dragasan at Uprising. Injuries. Apparently they put a patch in place to stop injuries happening so frequently, and they happen more. But yeah. So yeah, there will be a big fallout from that, and the main event, Sean O'Savoury versus Tyler Harris. The problem is I play this game on hard difficulty. I don't max out the reversals because then it gets too stupid. So I have them about between half and quarter way, or between a quarter and half way. It makes it competitive, but there's no real danger of the match not going the way I want it to. But yeah, the Renegade Rumble, basically my Royal Rumble, what Sean O'Savoury won, it kind of set the bar and then raised it too soon. I think O'Savoury came in at number 3 and eliminated 16 people, and I was trying not to eliminate people. When I played as him, I was trying to let others do it, but they couldn't, and the ring was filling up, and then I had to eliminate a few. So yeah, probably impossibly or improbably high standards for the first Renegade Rumble, but it set the stage because O'Savoury, it was the RCW Championship was his first title, and it'd always been solid, and I was umming and ahhing on O'Savoury or Ross for that spot. But I played him in exhibition a few times on AI, and O'Savoury he was just a more consistent performer, basically. And so I went with him to win the RCW Championship at Uprising and win the Renegade Rumble. But yeah, he owned the Rumble. Man, the way I work things with is I don't have faces bury heels or heels bury faces too much. In the case of Harris O'Savoury, it was a case of they was on equal footing. They didn't square off until Uprising. Their results were evenly matched, and there was respect between them because of that. So there wasn't any of this, I'm going to beat you, you suck, you're shit, blah blah blah, as you sometimes see on Raw, SmackDown and Impact. But yeah, so that's a quick rundown of the Uprising. How things happened, why they happened, stuff like that. I just want to give you people an insight into why and how I do this, because like I said, I'm not recording the TV shows, I'm just recording the pay-per-view, so things might slip by, and I just want to use these breaking Gamefabe slots to fill in the blanks. On the RCWA card, that's been uploaded now, as I film this. It's early Sunday morning, it's just turned midnight. Yeah, the number 1 contenders tag team title match, Tiger Power versus the Stevens Twins. They'll get the title shot, the Stevens Twins, at the Pre-Anarchy show. Because I put it in the description, but I didn't want people thinking, well, why did Scorn and Rufio face the Powerhouse later? So yeah, and speaking of Scorn and Rufio, they won the RCWA Tag Team Championships. from the Powerhouse. Good result. Match wasn't bad. Wilf played that match. Yeah, good little tag team match. The difficulty settings were different on that, so some of the matches may have been more one-sided. What's his name? Dwayne Huntley versus Lance Anderson. You might recognise Lance Anderson as the create an entrance video template guy. Yeah. His name comes from Lance Henriksen. He's like one of my favourite actors. He played Frank Black in Millennium, Lockdown in TF Animated. He was in the Alien films as Bishop Android and all that sort of thing. One of my favourite actors. And, yeah, just thought I'd give him a name similar, Lance Anderson. Surprised he won. And another thing, did you notice the cheer that Dwayne Huntley got? I mean, it's hard enough to get a decent reaction for a babyface on the game with custom music. But considering he had a Kanye West song, and he had Chavo Guerrero's entrance animation, that pop was ridiculous. And Rambo Johnson and Robinson Lassiter blew off their feud and stuff. I hope. That's what I plan anyway. I don't know what Universe is going to say. Maybe it'll continue in some other form. Maybe in the tag team division it might be extended somewhat. But yeah, Robinson got his revenge. Rambo and Jay Cassidy, incidentally, are two guys that started in RCW, but then I shifted them back to RCWA. It was kind of a voluntary thing at first, but then you learn that Rex Wesley paid them off to come down, join him in the syndicate, and try and wreak havoc. Didn't work so well in the triple threat match for the TV title, did it? Brad Taylor retained. For those of you that don't know, Brad is my son. He is a core based on my son. My son is 4, but he loves wrestling, and he's got way more figures than I had when I was a kid. He likes watching me play the game. He likes playing the game. He even got a tap-out victory over John Cena. That was him playing it as well. But yeah, he's a big wrestler. He's getting a real big wrestling fan, and he likes it when I record videos and put them up and edit them together and stuff. And he's always, "Dad, you got a video for me, Daddy Michael? You got a video for me?" And you know, I've got tons. He likes watching the ones that I lose. We've got to work on that. Yeah, so Brad Taylor is the television champion. I am, deliberately trying not to push him too far because I don't want there being this whole Garrett Bischoff, Jeff Jarrett, Brian Christopher sort of thing going on, the nepotism. I don't want that. So I'm pushing him slowly and on equal footing with the others. Main event didn't quite go as well as I thought it would. I thought Rex Wesley would put up more of a fight. And I just got sick of waiting for him and trying to give him an opening, because then it just looks too staged. So I just ended the match. I was disappointed with the main event. I was going to build Rex Wesley up as trying to build him as a big threat with his syndicate behind him and that, but it just didn't seem to work for me. And so I may have to reassess that situation. Got 3 new guys coming in, all based off people I used to know: Jed Clark, Robin Jacks, Nick Blueberry. They used to be entertainers at a bar where I worked. Bringing them in, so they might shake things up a bit. So that's the Uprising and Uprising pre-shows discussed. There is one thing, and it concerns the RCW Championship, more the look of it. I'm using the Attitude Era WWE title, the birdie as me and Wilf call it. NGW also uses the birdie. UWA uses the birdie. Now, for Uprising, it would have been silly having 2 birdies in the same show, so I switched the Undisputed Championship to Razor Rob to represent the UWA Championship. Now, even with that, Ben has still been using the birdie in his company. Wilf still uses the birdie in his company. So I decided to switch. I wasn't going to do it at Uprising. I could have switched the Undisputed to Harris and given Rob the birdie, and it could have been more consistent. But I decided against it because that's the belt that I used in other RCW matches and stuff. So, on the Heatwave show, we'll be bringing in the Undisputed Championship as the RCW belt. I just wanted to get a quick heads up so people didn't wonder why Sean O'Savory was all of a sudden wearing the UWA belt. It's just because 3 companies using the same belt, somebody's got to give. I'm more than happy to use the Undisputed belt. I wanted to use that at first, but Wilf wanted the Attitude belt. He was my first champion, so I afforded him that out of respect. Yeah, so going forward, we've got Heatwave on Mondays, Renegades on Thursdays, and Revolution stays on Fridays. Next pay-per-view is Anarchy, which is kind of like my Extreme Rules type thing. It's all in the title, really. Anarchy, just gonna let it run, see what happens. Following that, we have Bloodshed in May, which is usually main evented by a First Blood match. Excuse me. It's not a gimmick pay-per-view, not every match is a First Blood match. But, on a pay-per-view called Bloodshed, there needs to be blood. Another thing I will say, in the Uprising videos and with some of the entrance music, there is bad language. There was some in the promos, the Rob and KC interviews, the Hardcore Howie interview, Ross Lee's interview did feature some profanity, some more extreme than others, but it's out there. Travis Taylor's music, Dwayne Huntley's music, Wilf's old music for that matter, they all feature swearing in the songs, so I will warn you. If you're offended by that, sorry. If not, cool, but it's just throwing it out there. I don't want people coming on, looking at it, and getting on my back about there being swearing, or some kid's parent getting on my back about there being swearing. So I probably will do a proper, warning thing in like the description or something. Contains bad language and stuff. But we'll see how it goes. Most kids on YouTube don't even care about that, do they? To be honest. So yeah, I think that pretty much wraps it up for this. Spoken about Uprising in the pre-show and what I've got going forward. Hopefully I can get more people watching. Hopefully those who do watch are enjoying this and will stick around for more. And I shall speak to you next time.